Hello there, KSA Adam here with my first edition to Fallbrook Village Talk. We have Victor Zamundo with us. Say hi, Victor. Tell us about yourself a little bit.
Hi, everybody. My name is Victor Zamudio. I'm actually a personal trainer here in Fallbrook. I've been here for a while now, and it's awesome being here, a trainer here in this community.
That's awesome. Right on, Victor. So I know you've been in Fallbrook a long time. When did you move to Fallbrook?
Well, I originally moved to Fallbrook in 2005. Before
Oh,
that,
okay.
before that, I used to live up north in Northern California in the Bay Area, and my parents, when I was young, decided they wanted to try something different, so we moved it down here in 2005.
Gotcha. Okay. And when you came down, how old did you say you were when you came down?
I was actually 11 years old when we moved down here.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then you jumped into which school did you go to then? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so when I moved down here, I was about 11 years old. So I actually ended up going to La Paloma Elementary School. I was just there for basically just the last few months of sixth grade, and it was nice. After that, of course, just move over to Potter Junior High and so
Right.
on.
And then on to the high school. Right on. So you've been here quite a while. And yeah, we found out why you moved down here. That's awesome. A lot of people that have moved here, end up just staying for so long because it's such a unique place, right? Um,
Exactly.
so now you're working with Club Paradise as a personal trainer. How long have you been there?
So I've been here since early, well actually late 2012.
Okay.
After I graduated from high school, I wanted to try something, working at a gym, and so I've been here since 2012.
Gotcha. But were you already involved with fitness, or did you just think that that was a good job that you get into? How did you get into it?
Well, I've always wanted to try to do something in fitness. In high school, I love working out, and it was something that I was passionate about. And
Gotcha.
then you know parents, friends told me, hey, maybe you should try pursuing a career in fitness. And so, I decided, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shot. And so I went for it.
Gotcha. So in high school, you found that is a good hobby, and you kind of grew into that and matured to the point where you wanted to really make it your full-time thing. That's awesome. So when you're doing your personal training, are you just specifically working with people as far as weight training, or how can you help somebody if they come in and say, I need help getting started? What do you do for them?
Well, because everybody has different goals, I need to be able to adjust to their specific goals. I
Right.
have people that want to go ahead and do bodybuilding, as well as people that just want to focus on weight loss, and other people that just want to improve the quality of their life. And so the first thing is just basically, getting in sync with what they want to be able to do,
Hmm.
and approach them in the best way, because some people have a certain amount of motivation, other people have a certain amount of experience working out, and so depending on the individual will approach their individual goal.
Gotcha. That totally makes sense. Or if they maybe even have an injury or something like that, I could see you being a huge service of rehabilitating them. That makes a ton of sense. So when you sit down with somebody, I'm just kind of curious. So when you sit down with somebody that's just getting started, do you set them up with some kind of workout routine, maybe a cardio routine? Do you also help them with nutrition as well?
Exactly. So the first thing is, when I sit down with them, I'm gonna find out what they can and can't do.
Hmm.
If they have specific injuries, I have to be able to be aware of those so that I can help them work around those and actually be able to overcome those injuries. So the first thing is figuring out a workout program that's gonna benefit them and prevent them from getting injured or overcome those injuries that they may have already. The second thing is finding out what their nutrition looks like, because we all eat, but not everybody eats what they should be eating. Sometimes we sort of go away from healthy eating, and we can fall into the trap of eating a lot of fast food and all of that. So the first
Right.
thing with the nutrition is figuring out, how to get them motivated about eating a little bit more healthy, and how to get them more into the more conscious eating, rather than just eating whatever comes their way. And
Gotcha.
so also with their cardio. we find a cardio, regimen that's actually going to help him, but not make him burn out. Because a lot of the times when people first start working out, they want to jump into everything at once. They want to go ahead and start on the meal plan, on the weightlifting, and on the cardio. And the idea is to slowly implement each one of them, basically making it a lifestyle. So yes, I help them with all three of them, and slowly, basically building a well-rounded training program that's going to help them achieve their goals.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds like you put together a great game plan. Obviously, like anything in life, the more action you take, the more results you're going to get. But it sounds like you need to do all three to get results. From my experience in fitness as well, that's what I've found. It sounds like you really do set people up on a great path from the gate. Now, you mentioned bodybuilding. Have you been doing bodybuilding as a goal for a long time, or is that something that just recently you started doing? I know you mentioned that a little bit ago.
Yeah, actually, I started in bodybuilding about 4 years ago. Originally, I love working out, and I started seeing really good results. And people started, asking me, as like, hey, have you ever thought about competing? And have you ever thought about doing a bodybuilding show? And at first, I was a little bit nervous about it. Didn't really know much about it. But
Hmm.
the more I found out, the more I learned about it. The more it sort of interests me. So then I decided, all right, let's go ahead and sign up for a bodybuilding competition, and pretty much started from there. I can honestly say though that it's been one thing that has allowed me to really grow, not just as far as like my confidence as far as in fitness, but just with anything else that I do in life. Because
Hmm.
bodybuilding is sort of like, you can think of it like a hobby. It's a lifestyle, so it does a lot of things for you.
Yeah, and I can definitely tell you have, definitely gone a long way since when I first met you 4 years ago.
Yeah,
And so yeah, you're absolutely right. It's consistent actions over an extended period of time, to get that desired goal, right? Um, and that kind of leads me into my next question. What does your daily routine look like in order for you to achieve, that goal? It sounds like, you started off just as a hobby, and then it developed into this passion, and now it's become this dream, right?
exactly. Well, the routine, actually, your habits and the routine that you set for yourself is really the most important thing, because it's really the foundation,
Exactly.
of everything. So my morning starts kind of early. I wake up around 6:30 in the morning. The first thing I do is I go ahead and stretch, and I drink plenty of water, and then I start having my breakfast. From there, I'll go ahead and actually sit down. I'll go over any emails that I need to answer. I'll get back to my clients. If I have to
Mhm.
work on creating any meal plans or any training programs for people that I work with, I'll do so at that time. And then after that, I start just with work. I come in and I'll work with the clients that I have, but I make sure that I make time for myself, whether it be in the middle of the day or at the end of the day, to actually go ahead and work out. Throughout the whole day, though, I need to be making sure that I'm, on top of my eating. I want to make sure that I'm, eating something that's going to fuel me for my workouts and also for work. And then, of course, before going to bed, I usually just, give myself the last hour to hour and a half to just relax and sort of just de-stress, because we go through so much throughout the entire day that we need to give ourselves a little bit of time at the end of the day to just relax and allow our body to basically just slow down
Recover.
so that we can go to sleep.
Right. You need some time to recover. Wow. But it does sound like you have it time blocked very, very specifically. So you don't have a whole lot of fluctuation in your routine. So you can make sure you stay on track to your target. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to have, some sort of structure. There has to be a little bit of flexibility there, but you need to have a structure in order for you to be able to stick with it. Because if there's too much fluctuations between, your habits or your daily routine, it can be hard to get things done, because you're just trying to catch up with whatever might be, coming your way, and
Right.
you can't really hit those goals that you're trying to achieve for that day.
Right. If you're all over the place and you don't have, any kind of expectation about what's coming next, it's tough to get things done consistently for sure. And it definitely sounds like, you put the plan in place, you have the dream first, right? And then you come up with a game plan that will slowly get you to progress over an extended period of time to that goal, right? And then that's how you break down your day. So you almost reverse engineer it, right?
Exactly. You always work your way from what your goal is. You go ahead and sit down and figure out what it is, that you want to achieve. And then from there, you just basically draw out a game plan or a map of things that you need to do in order to
Mhm.
get there. And it's just a matter of knocking out, one thing at a time, and not getting stressed if you're not able to, get everything done at once.
Mhm.
Once you have that game plan, as long as you stick to it, you're gonna get to your goal no matter what.
Yeah, it definitely sounds. Now I can kind of understand a lot more. And in my own life, I've experienced it as well. What you mean when you say you can absolutely translate this type of mindset into anything in life that you want to be successful with, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's amazing. And I've absolutely experienced that for myself. Okay, so let's talk about some recommendations for those that are trying to achieve their fitness goals today. What can we tell them as far as, some good recommendations to get them going on a better path to achieving their fitness goals? What would you recommend?
Well, the first thing is find something that you enjoy doing. Whether that be, doing group training, whether it be just weightlifting, whether it even be just going for a run. Find
Hmm.
something that you enjoy doing, because if you enjoy it, you're gonna stick to it. You
Right.
want to, find things that are going to be fun for you and just do them. And as you start progressing with those, you can start adding more things onto your workouts. Like, for example, often when people start, I always say, start off doing maybe a little bit of just walking on the treadmill, or even just walking outdoors, and then
Hmm.
that's going to lead to the next thing, and eventually, you'll be achieving those goals. So that's
Right.
the number one thing. Find something that you enjoy doing. You're going to be more likely to stick to your goals that way.
That's a great tip. Yeah. So, and you're just saying start off with something you love and then compound that interest over time. So maybe whatever it is, like you said, start walking for 10 minutes a day and then next week add another 5 minutes, something like that.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
it's all about building upon something that you like.
Right, right. And just compound that interest. That's awesome. And then if you had to recommend one book to help somebody, um, physically, mentally, spiritually, what book would that be? What has really changed your life? What book would you recommend the most?
Well, a while back, one of my good friends, David Epstein, he actually gave me a book, and I had the book. I first just kind of looked at it, and I really didn't think much of it. Anyways, the name of the book is called Goals, and basically the writer of the book, his name is Brian Tracy. Now, this book, it's a really good book because during that time, I was sort of struggling to set goals for myself. I was actually struggling to even, think about what my goals were. But, I sat down and I started reading this book, and it really sort of gave me inspiration, and it gave me guidance onto how to set my goals and actually achieve them. It's a really good book. I would recommend it to anybody, no
Awesome.
matter what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's a really great recommendation. I'm going to have to have you shoot me a text with that name so I can write it down myself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today, Victor. I think we learned a lot. How can people get a hold of you if they'd like to get more information?
Yeah, they can either reach me, through my email, which is Victor at clubparadisefitness.com. They could also reach me on social media. My for example, my Facebook is just Victor Zamudio. They should be able to
Awesome.
find me like that. And of course, if you're here in town, you can just come by to Club Paradise Fitness, and I'm always going to be here, so be able to get a hold of me here.
Awesome, Victor. Thank you again so much for taking the time out of your day to chat with us. And thank you all for taking time to watch. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, like, comment, and share. Thanks again, guys. And I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks again, Victor.
Hey, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. Take care.
Hey, you too. Thank you.